Here's the Hallicrafters S-40 communications receiver, and I'm not sure when this is from. I think maybe late 1940s. Serial number is 82899, and I put all new caps in it. This probably would have gone in the dumpster if I hadn't gotten it. It was really beat up and mistreated. It came from an estate sale. And I've got the tuning dials up here. They had been shattered by kids doing something. Just poked a pencil in there or something and shattered these green plastic dials. But I found the bits of them inside the cabinet, and I was able to super glue them back together. But the problems I found with this, once I put new caps in it, I found that the 6SQ7 tube wasn't working. Couldn't get an audio signal through it, so I put a new tube in. And then I couldn't get the oscillator tube to work. The mixer portion of the 6SA7 tube was working, but not the oscillator. And I found that was just due to dirty contacts, although I did put a new tube in, because when I was testing it, I tried injecting an oscillator signal from the signal generator in with the old tube. I injected it into the oscillator grid, and I couldn't tune any stations. But then when I put a new tube in there, I put in the substitute oscillator signal, and then I could tune in a station. So a new tube plus cleaning the contacts fixed that. I've got some bent, or some shorting out of the variable capacitor. I've tried to bend some of the plates, but I need to find out where all the shorts are. But I do have it working somewhat now. I mean, it probably could be a little bit better, but it seems to get strong stations, although I might want a little bit more sensitivity. I'll have to try and keep working with it. But I've got it hooked up to that speaker. It's got a fine-tuning control here. You can see on the outside, it's got that's the fine-tuning capacitor. So I'll set this to minimum capacitance to get the broadest range on the main capacitor here.
This house is under attack.
Sounds good.
Show up anywhere, energy is wasted.
Washer, it's not Energy Star rated.
You have the power to get rid of Energy Hall.
Someone's home!
He's got energy efficient light bulb.
Go to Energy Hall.
Explain why ISI's auto dealers survey has surged. ISI's credit surveys are still below 50, but are both improving. A number of employment indicators, such as the diffusion index and the PMI, are at the top end of their ranges, suggesting payroll employment continues to increase. If the payroll increases, continue to accelerate.
Now once you get down, there's some kind of a short down there. Because once you get down to a certain point, it starts hitting something.
KLPF 1150 AM Midland, Odessa. President and CEO of Ave Maria Radio and host of Preston in the Afternoon. I hope you're enjoying this pre-recorded edition of Catholic Connection with Teresa Tomeo. Through this week, Teresa and I will be participating in the Ave Maria Spring Membership Drive, raising production support for Catholic Connection. So let me
there's the Hallicrafters S-40. Here's the front panel. I guess it's an S-40A. It's going to need a new speaker. and I'll put a new power cord and a fuse on it. I've just got it powered up with the alligator clip cord. But this radio had a recap job done on it probably sometime in the 60s. Of course, these caps are bad by now. These are paper caps. There was only a few of the really old paper ones left in there. There were some of these type of caps too, but I just went ahead and replaced them all just to be sure. This looks like it would be Mylar, but it's actually paper. As far as I can tell, these are paper. And if it looks like a Mylar cap but the capacitance value is fairly high, like 0.05, it's most likely actually paper, so I replaced that one too. And I just like to replace all the caps in it. And I used to think I could always trust these, but now I'm kind of suspicious of these ones as well. So I know now that I won't have any problems with caps on this, because we've got all new ones. I did leave the ones in that I was pretty sure was Mica, because Mica don't tend to, at least these kind of Mica caps don't tend to degrade very much. For some reason, the type that is used in IF cans can sometimes get leakage, but maybe it's because it uses one sheet of mica between the high voltage side and the grid side of the next stage. I'm not sure, but these kind of mica caps seem to hold up pretty well. So I'll keep working on this. We'll get the power cord on. We'll try and get the case put back together then. I'm not sure how this works on shortwave. I haven't really tried it out, so I'll try that out as well. I now have the Hallicrafters with a new power cord on it, and I fixed the variable capacitor, put in a new power cord and fuse, and the speakers were totally destroyed, so I salvaged some speakers from a KLH speaker and installed them in there, woofer and tweeter. I was able to just remove this panel here and put the new bolts in for the speaker. I don't have the tuning string fixed yet, so.
Because if he was trying to use them all out, I'm gonna lie. Make sure you put that in. I don't know. I don't that you have to, because I would have.
What was going to certainly be a circus. Fuel bomb was planned.
For joining me on The Doctor Is In. I'm the Doctor Who's In.
But somebody decided to sit on these pictures for a year of our troops being dirtbags. 5 members of our troops.
I bypassed this switch here. I'm going to have to try to find another switch, but this just grounds the center tap of the power transformer, so I just bypassed it for now.
Der Spiegel and Rolling Stone decide to print these old pictures.
Today, too, disrupts good character.
How did he define toxic relationships?
Well, unhealthy. I mean, relationships that need not continue or need to be addressed. All right, and he said that
Exact amounts of dollars on hand from the government are dirty, rotten, truth.
Squawk Box, Becky Quick, and Joe Kernan. Joe Kernan says, hey, look, Congressman Ryan, the idea of public unions sort of electing all the state and local officials, that was good. But now they have the public unions actually controlling who is on the Supreme Court. There's a whole new form of government we're seeing.
So now I'll go ahead and try and clean up the top of the chassis here, get the tuning strings put back on and the tuning dials on, get the front panel mounted, and then it'll be just about ready to be done.
Where you have unelected bureaucrats